gaining a third dimension, the mechanics of stereopsis, the critical period, and what adult brain plasticity can and cannot do. Important first, this video is education only, not medical advice. If you have amblyopia, crossed eyes, double vision, sudden vision change, or eye pain, see an ophthalmologist or qualified eye care professional. Millions of people do not experience full binocular 3D, not because an eye is missing, but because the brain learned to favor or suppress one signal. The old story that nothing can improve after childhood is not the full picture, but recovery is not guaranteed either. Today we walk through stereopsis, stereoblindness, and hope with honesty. The Wheatstone mechanism in plain terms. Your left and right eyes sit slightly apart, so each captures a slightly different flat picture. Alone, each image is two-dimensional. When the brain compares them, it measures tiny horizontal differences called binocular disparity. Binocular neurons fuse those mismatched views into one depth-filled world, stereopsis. This helps catching a ball, judging steps, threading a needle, and feeling real space around you. Depth is not only out in the world, much of it is constructed inside the brain. A biological secret that eluded history's greatest minds until 1838. Euclid, Da Vinci, Newton, and others studied optics for centuries without fully mapping stereoscopic depth. British scientist Charles Wheatstone then demonstrated with the stereoscope that slightly different drawings fed to each eye fuse into a single three-dimensional object. That was a landmark. Binocular disparity is a mechanism for depth, though we still use many other depth cues too, like motion parallax, size, perspective, occlusion, and shading. Living in a flattened world, stereoblindness. Stereoblindness means absent or very weak stereopsis. People still judge depth using monocular backup clues. Objects look smaller when far away, paths narrow with distance, shadows suggest shape, and motion parallax helps. Research estimates adult stereoblindness around 7%, though methods vary. Some people struggle with near-hand coordination, sports, parking, or jobs needing precise depth judgment, but many compensate well, and difficulty levels differ widely. The anatomy of suppression. When eyes are misaligned or send conflicting images, the brain cannot fuse them cleanly. Double vision would be chaotic, so the visual system may suppress one eye signal. That protects stability, but can weaken binocular vision over time. Important nuance: suppression is not always simply looking through one eye at a time. It can vary with distance, gaze angle, fatigue, and task. The result can feel like a more monocular brain with reduced true binocular depth. 3 common triggers of suppression: form deprivation, cataract, droopy eyelid, or anything blocking a sharp image during development. Refractive amblyopia, unequal prescriptions so one eye sees blur while the other sees clearly. The brain favors the sharp image. Strabismic amblyopia, misaligned eyes viewing different scenes. The brain suppresses one input to avoid conflict. Amblyopia and stereoblindness can also combine causes. Proper diagnosis matters because treatment paths differ. The critical period, real, but not an absolute brick wall. For decades, Hubel and Wiesel's critical period model shaped medicine. Visual pathways develop rapidly early in life, then plasticity drops sharply. If amblyopia was missed in childhood, many believed adult recovery was impossible. The critical period is not a myth. It describes a window of high plasticity. What was overstated is the claim that useful improvement is always impossible after childhood. Adult recovery can remain possible in some people, but it is partial, slower, and not guaranteed. The adult brain remains plastic, with limits. Braille readers can expand touch representation in sensory cortex. Violinists devote more motor cortex to trained fingers. Astronauts reweight vestibular and visual signals in microgravity. These examples show adult nervous systems can reorganize. They do not prove every adult with amblyopia will regain full 3D vision. They support a broader principle. The brain is not frozen after childhood, even if childhood plasticity was stronger. Moving beyond glasses, alone toward structured binocular work. Optical correction is necessary, but rarely restores stereopsis by itself. Monocular strengthening, patching or penalizing the stronger eye in selected cases, can wake up a suppressed eye in children especially. Active structured binocular or Dichoptic therapy aims to reduce suppression and encourage fusion. Random internet eye exercises are not equivalent to a supervised plan. Simple exercises alone are not a cure. The right diagnosis and professional oversight matter. Training convergence with the Brock string. Swiss optometrist Frederick Brock's string gives instant feedback. Beads at different distances, eyes aiming at one point in space. If an eye is suppressed, part of the string may disappear, a visible signal that both eyes are not participating equally. Tools like Brock string, pencil push-ups, or barrel cards may be used in supervised therapy, not as magic cures downloaded from the internet, but as exercises for the right patient at the right time. Dichoptic stimulation. Each eye sees something different through goggles or a screen split. Custom video game-style tasks can present high-contrast detail to one eye and complementary information to the other, forcing cooperation to win. Research on perceptual learning and Dichoptic training shows some adults with amblyopia can improve acuity, contrast sensitivity, and sometimes stereopsis, often partially. Clinical guidelines still caution evidence is evolving. These approaches should not be marketed as guaranteed replacements for standard care. Daily mechanics in supervised therapy. Pencil push-ups move a target toward the nose until blur or doubling, training convergence. Barrel convergence cards ask you to fuse colored barrel images into one, building stamina for sustained stereoscopic fusion. Again, context is everything. These are examples used within professional vision therapy plans, not standalone self-treatment protocols for everyone. The balanced conclusion. Stereopsis is a brain function, not just an eye function. If the brain learned to suppress one eye, some people may improve binocular cooperation again, depending on cause, alignment, age of onset remaining circuitry, and treatment quality. Do not self-diagnose from a video. But do not assume adulthood means zero possibility of improvement. The science is more hopeful than the old brick wall and more cautious than hype. The third dimension is built inside the brain, and sometimes both eyes can be heard again. That is rewiring 3D vision with the fact-checked framing, education, not medical advice. If you have lazy eye, crossed eyes, poor depth perception, or double vision, book a professional eye examination. In a follow-up, we can cover exercises and tools only with proper clinical context. Subscribe to Life of Geeks, comment vision below, and scan the QR code for the channel.